The craziest thing, do any of you know that we're still dealing with slavery in the modern day? Slavery has not changed. It has evolutionized itself. A lot of us are thinking that slavery has changed and things are going to be different. It hasn't. We're looking at a system that can enslave you at any time. The right person with the right vendetta or the right objective can sit up here and basically tear your life apart without even being within distance of you. We are dealing with a system that has told us that we are free and we are not. You are dealing with matrix systems. And I know a lot of you guys hear this in demonic systems. And we are all becoming more and more enslaved as the days pass us by, years pass us by, and stuff like that. And you're like, how did you come up with this? How did you come up with this ideology or idea? Think about it. If I put you in a simulation and I drug you just enough where you stay dumbfounded, and there are drugs out there to keep you dumbfounded, keep you in a hallucination stage, keep you in all these different forms of enslavement. And I keep imprisoning you through these same systems. When will you ever become free? When will you ever have? You won't. We're dealing with that every day. Our children are dealing with demonic possession, which is a form of enslavement. We're dealing with enslavement here in the United States, abroad, and in every country that you pretty much go into. This enslavement comes because we have failed to realize that the Word of God is people advising us on what is best for our lives. When have you ever heard someone complain about a person saying, hey, if you don't have sex, you don't have to worry about an STD? I never heard anybody complain about that. If you sit up there and you deal with people in the right manner, you will get positive results. No one can argue with these different tactics in which the Word of God teaches. But what we have noticed is that despite the teachings of the Word of God, that there are other things that are attacking us on a daily basis. We abstain from sex, but yet and still we're being raped. This is to keep a demonic hold on us. We deal with people with kind words, but yet and still we are surrounded by negative people with the wrong attitude, wrong personality that has a vendetta against us. For whatever reason, it's a vendetta. A lot of our young women are dating young men, and these men are going into warfare. These men love these young women, but cannot marry them because of the fact that they're going through attacks because of the love that they have for these young women. And as well as the young women going through attacks because of the love that they have for the young men. And all of this is done to keep you from marrying and to keep you into sin. Now let's talk about marriage. Now when you get married, they're sitting up there, they have no respect for a marital relationship. So they sit up there and they do switches and tears. What this means is a lot of times you heard the song from Beyonce. We woke up in the kitchen trying to figure out how did it happen. Oh baby, drunk in love. She's telling a story of how I know I didn't cheat, you didn't cheat, but they didn't understand that they would deal with switches and tears in their relationship where me and you together having intercourse and someone else steps in and takes over and begin to sleep with me and you, other people. And they hide this as a dark shadow or They call it something totally different, like a ritual type thing, but it's definitely demonic behavior to enslave you. This is enslavement behavior. Now, we live in a country that says, in God we trust. Of course, I trust in God. Of course, I know that God is the best option for me. But what happens when you have an enemy that is constantly luring you away from what is best for you or compelling you, even? Some of us, we don't get a choice, we get compelled. That means you don't have a choice. First thing I figured out when I first filed for my entity taught me that anything that I do while having this entity, it will repeat itself. It will repeat itself. So I must make positive decisions because there are harvests connected to my decision, which will sit up there and multiply. So I started making positive decisions in my life. I don't want the enemy to have to reign. I don't want the enemy to have authority in my life. And that's when you really start to wake up and realize that sin isn't cool. That's when you really start to wake up and you start to recognize, man, certain stuff I really don't want to have involvement in. I don't want this stuff around me. I don't want it around my kids. I won't want it around my family and stuff. And you begin to guard yourself. We are at a time where they're teaching our children to steal, to get what they want. They deprived our children so much of the resources that are necessary for their survival that now they're forced to steal. They're forced to do things that is unbecoming. The first thing that they sit up there when they want to get a woman to prostitute herself, they begin to mess with her finances. They begin to make sure that she doesn't have money. They begin to make sure that she doesn't have anything before they begin to attack and start trying to ask her into a unclean lifestyle of prostitution. That doesn't just go there. Young men, a lot of times that same tactic is used for you to sell drugs in your own community or participate in unbecoming activities within a prison system, a jail, or anywhere else. Think about it. How many times you seen in a prison setting and a jail a person actually don't have anything because the jail isn't providing everything that they need? Those inmates actually need deodorant, lotion, powder, and a form of cologne, soap, water, a whole bunch of other essential things to actually survive. Guess what? When you put them in that prison, a lot of times they're not getting those requirements. A lot of times they're not getting the stuff that they need because they don't have the proper supervision. And a lot of stuff is going on. So they're forced into criminal behaviors within our own institutions that's supposed to be doing a form of correction. And it only makes it 10 times worse because as this stuff begins to leave the prison system, it reintroduces itself into society and turns society similar to these prison tactics that was used to imprison a person and cause them to do wrong. We have to get to the point where we say, okay, enough is enough. We are going to work for the greater good of all mankind and follow God's commandments. That is the only way. But guess what? I got a catch 22 for you. How messed up is this? At some point, you're going to realize that that parable about God actually giving you the good word and sowing good seeds actually relates to the biblical text as well. A lot of things in that biblical text has been changed. The enemy has decided that he's going to sift religion like wheat. And a lot of it has changed. I can tell you one for true. Who has the knowledge of good and evil? God does. Why would I want to eat from God? Because I need to know good as well as evil and know what to sustain from. You cannot always know just good. And if I only know good and I know nothing about evil, evil will eventually overthrow me. So I must learn of them both and be very vigilant to observe that I don't fall into temptation or into evil behavior, because I have sat up there and I have read, I have studied, and I have learned the enemy's tactics and learned the enemy's way to safeguard myself and to keep myself as a holy person. When we sit up there and we begin to listen to the ministers, which most of them are wolves these seasons. And when I say they are wolves, I'm not talking about a good wolf. I'm talking about a wolf that seeks to devour you, who cannot sit up there and safeguard itself. Be careful in these seasons. It is so much going on. If we do not learn to follow the commandments of God, which is the same thing taught in a scholar lifestyle, because you're not going to tell me. Guess what? The only difference between being a scholar and being a person of God is that you woke up to a wisdom that's far beyond what you can understand. When I stopped dating and stopped entering into a relationship, it said man should not sleep with mankind. Do you understand what I'm saying? When I realized that they were taking married women and men and sodomizing them, I remember when I grew up, they said a marital bed is undefiled. It should never be defiled. This is a marital bed. Now, you can't even find a marriage that's safe. These people are now so demonic that they say you will not find a virgin in their city, meaning that they are raping newborn babies off to ensure that there is no virgin found in the city. Know what you're dealing with. These are evil and wicked times. We must stand for God. We don't get a choice anymore. You don't get to choose whether or not you're going to serve God, because if you don't choose that you're going to serve God, you're going to find yourself in worse and worse situations. I'm looking at the movie I Am Legend, and I'm thinking to myself, they don't even know what the movie is consisted of. It wasn't about a vaccine. It wasn't even about a cure to cancer. It was actually talking about demonic behavior. Those things was demons. And demons had overran the city. And how many of us know that the city was considered desolate? And so with it being considered desolate, that means that you have to do certain things, because when night comes out, all these demons start to come out and hang out. And like vampires. They will not come out in the day. These demons roaming at night. It's only a few of them that is bold enough to come into the light. And that was said also in the movie, as well as in certain written parts of it. They only come out, it's only a few that you will see come out in the day. It is so much going on with our people that we really need to know what we're dealing with. And they made the movie I Am Legend because of the fact of the demonic behavior that was going on around them. Around them. Those was demons. No vaccine did that. That was demonic possession. We are dealing with this. When you sit up there and you see them breathing the way they breathe and stuff like that, they breathe like that in rituals. Those Diddy party rituals, you will find some of them breathing and carrying on like that out of it. And they're not going to talk to you about that type of stuff. They're not going to say as clear as day. This is because of the rituals and the ways they carry themselves. We are dealing with a time where I remember God was like, I'm tired of forgiving people. And he refused to even take a sacrifice. So they would sit up there and they would offer up deers and all kinds of animals. One time they completely depleted a supply of animals. A whole supply of animals. The earth was depleted of livestock because God refused to forgive mankind. Then they began to sacrifice humans trying to receive forgiveness. And none was given. Know what you're dealing with. This is where the sacrifice of Jesus came into place. And a lot of people don't even know this. We don't rejoice as Christians off of the stigmata and the death of Jesus Christ. I don't rejoice off of it because I know from which it came. After the animals are depleted, they use humans because they have no more animals to sacrifice because they have sinned so aggressively against God that God won't even accept an animal from them. So they say, okay, well, let's see if you don't accept a human who is righteous. And they begin to kill off the righteous. And what most people don't understand about these type of like lifestyles and the way these people live, they don't ever plan to do right. They only want to get removed from the burdens of it. So we have people right now today who are full of demons and are innocent. That's what Jesus came to actually deliver. These are innocent people bearing demons because usually they put those demons in the animal and sacrifice it off. But now these demons now are in mankind. And mankind is forced to bear another person's demons through this ritual behavior. And that's part of the reason why they're calling a lot of humans deers. Deer. Hi, dear. I actually hate it. But I gotta tell you the true story behind you being a deer. Like the same way I told you the true story behind you being a lady or a gentleman. They're telling you that you are into whorism. You're not into that stuff. They are. But they're going to use you as a sacrifice. So they're going to force you into it. How would you fight against that? There's only one way to fight. With the word of God. Cover yourself with it. Cover yourself with it. Believe in it. Because I'm going to tell you something. I got stories where I was working like crazy. And I'm in demonic places trying to work. A lot of people think working at jails and prisons are safe. No, man, that mess is demonic. You're going to come home with some spirits on you. Your children are going to have to go up against spirits that's on them. You're going up against all kinds of stuff. And then at the end, you may find yourself, if you don't serve God, you won't be living. So you find yourself in Satan's hands. And when we say Satan's hand, this is what this means. You find yourself comatose, just laying there with the inability to fight your enemies the way you want to fight your enemies. So they'll put pee and everything, they nasty like that. But guess what they're called? They're called sinners. They're called sinners, but they're going to come at you like they the righteous, most holiest things ever. And they're not. They don't know God. They don't even want God. You are nothing but a sacrifice, so just in case they needed God, they can lie. Some of them have switched so many things in your life, you don't even know half the stuff that was switched in your life. When I say switch, I'm talking about switches, actual tears, weeds, and everything else, where they have set up there and they on purpose switch your life. Like, I know that I did good. They know that they did bad. They don't want to reap the harvest of bad. So they change things, saying that they're you. I can't tell you how many times I had grown men tell about something they're me. I go by the name Senior sometimes. Senior is considered a male name. They call me like Senior, or um, a lot of times they don't call me like a woman would be called. They see me like a man would be seen. I'm a woman though, but they see me as a man. And when they heard me call my name Senior, because this is the name that I go by sometimes, they sit up there and you have men that want to pretend that they are me, and they are not. Because I am a woman that's standing for something. And they're a man that refuse to, they're going to fall for anything. We are in a critical time and season. Make wise decisions every day. Let me tell you something. They want our people so dumbfounded. Man, I'm on IXL. To be totally honest with you, I barely have time to actually work on my exercises on ISL, because I be staying, working, grinding, trying to make money, trying to go hard in the paint, because I'm not guaranteed nothing. Nothing's promised to me. Nothing. So I try to go hard in the paint, do what I gotta do. When I tell you, a lot of times I get a bad reputation because I don't just follow what everybody else want to do. I don't just do what everybody else want to do. Do what I gotta do to survive. A lot of people don't like it. It is what it is. But it's funny how men that refuse to educate themselves, men and women that refuse, and this is not one sex, I'm telling you guys right now, these people have committed themselves to alternative gods. He said, my people serve idols. When we heard the word idols, we like trying to figure out what idols is, because you starting to think that you're an idol. No, there's certain in idol religions. Every commandment that God issued out has a religion to it, and these people actually want to be subservient to it. They actually want to serve something that is not beneficial to them. You have to wake up and know that God is the best option for you. I can't tell you, man, it's taken me a while to break free from Satan. It's taken a long time. I already chose God. It's taken years of just doing the right thing. And when we say long suffering, I mean long suffering, where it's like I'm being tormented, I'm going through, the enemy's trying to force me to think that, okay, their plan and what they doing is more righteous than God's own. I can't even tell you that. Of course, they want you to date. Young women, I can't tell you how many men touch your body from you being sexually active with one man. One man. I like him. I love him. I want to be with him. Listen to me. Young men, y'all thinking it's an exception to the rule for you. It's not. I can't tell you how many men and women touch your body from that. Young women, same thing. It's men and women touching your body. You would think a woman would have respect for another woman, but these ain't women, these ladies. And these ladies have no respect. You'll find them in a strip club on a corner of a whole set. They sit up there, they represent hoism. You'll find them there. Some of these men, they are charming, very charming. They talking to you. Oh, you so beautiful. You so wonderful. You so this. You so that. His job is to charm you. He's a charmer. He's going to talk nice to you. He's going to tell you everything you hear. Everything you want to hear, he's going to tell it to you. However you want to hear it, he's going to tell it to you. He has a job and an assignment to destroy you. That's what they do. And this is only the first wave of stuff, because we got like a million more commandments and fights to actually fight. If you defeat this one, you're pretty much good, because guess what? This one consists of masturbation. Yeah, they want you to masturbate. Oh, you don't want to do it with me. You don't want to do it with her. You want to do it with him. It's okay. You could do it by yourself and we're going to still rape you all. That's how they come at you. So there's no masturbation, no touching yourself, no nothing, no dating, no nothing. Just you purely saying, I'm reserving myself for myself to safeguard yourself. Because they're not going to spit it to you like this. Half our young women, y'all out in the nightclub, full of demons, full of the dead. They ain't waking. They dumbfounded. That's the state they had Adam and Eve in. How you gonna give, God gives Adam and Eve power, dominion, and authority. What they do, they killed Adam and Eve off and say, this is ours. And that's what they're doing to us right now. Be smart. But I got a God that sat up there and said, I'm the God that saved Adam. I'm the God that saves Eve. I'm the God that saves. I can wake you up again. I can give you life. But first, you're going to have to fall in and commit. And I'm going to tell you something. The hardest thing I had to go through with serving God was when they want to force you to believe that God is the issue and not the solution. Because that same enemy that got you in with Satan, that's worshiping holism, wait until you hear them say, I'm the one who actually gave you the word of God too. That's when you're going to really hurt. But don't hurt. Because ask them to stay the one that's going to serve it. And that's something they never do. Be wise. Be smart. Do what God has called. God bless.